Call it a Breaking Friday challenge for you, Broncos country. We are this close to passing the Falcons channel, Falcons Today, in subscribers. We've already beat the June subscriber record. So here's what I need you to do. Lock us in, hit that big free red subscribe button, and help us beat Falcons Today. Now, coming up on today's episode, 2 Broncos, one receives good news, one receives bad news. We're going to break all of it down here on today's show. Happy Friday, Broncos fans. Welcome into the program today. Now, I was reading a couple of articles to get prepared for today's show, and not that I want to brag or, shove it in your face like, ha ha ha, I was right, because that's not what we do here on the show. But I will say this. I have been clamoring for a Jaleel McLaughlin trade news nugget, and I finally feel vindicated. Combing the edges of the internet, I found 4 separate sites that all listed Jaleel McLaughlin as the number 1 trade asset for the Denver Broncos. The most notable one being NFL Trade Rumors. Here's what they specifically had to say about J-Mac. We believe that there's a chance that a team would be willing to trade Jaleel McLaughlin. And the article goes on to list why he is the most valuable trade asset. And they list Audric Estime, and they also list guys like Blake Watson. But truthfully, out of all the Broncos running backs not named J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin has the most trade value out of any of those Broncos running backs. And look, I know he's a fan favorite. I don't deny that Sean Payton loves him. I don't deny that you guys love him. I also am a big fan. But you have to start thinking in terms of revamping the roster, maximizing the full potential of the guys on the team already. And the truth is that if you are going to move off of one of the running backs currently in the Broncos running back room, the one that could get you the most draft capital back is Jaleel. And I know on the field, he is more than proven what he was when he came out of college, which was an undrafted free agent. Brought in, was able to solidify himself as a solid running back too, and his numbers, while not eye-popping, have definitely earned himself a spot on the roster. So even if, he doesn't get traded, he will absolutely make the roster. He's not a cut candidate, but you didn't see the jump from his rookie season to his second year like you thought you would. He didn't really have that many more yards rushing, given, 30 more attempts, and he didn't find the end zone more than once. Believe it or not, his yards per carry actually went down. And like I said before, multiple sources have listed him as the top trade candidate for the Broncos on offense. And again, not to say I told you so, because that's not what we do here, but I have been the one that's kind of been putting it in the minds of Broncos fans that this is a possibility. Now, whether or not it happens, that remains to be seen. But what could a potential trade look like? Because I can't just spew these rumors at you without giving something in return, right? You need a little bit of reassurance as to what these particular sources are saying. So I've got you covered. One of the trade ideas that I found, according to NFL Rumors, was that the Broncos trade Jaleel to the Saints in exchange for a 2026 7th-round pick. Now, again, for an undrafted free agent, you're probably not going to see much higher than a 7th, maybe a conditional 6th, which is what you would get in the second trade idea, also listed by NFL Trade Rumors, to the Commanders this time. Jaleel McLaughlin for a 2027 6th-round pick. In my opinion, these kind of, equal each other out. It's not necessarily a huge difference in terms of draft compensation. We're talking about 6th and 7th-round picks for a running back too. Now, I will give you and all the J-Mac fans some credit. I don't think Payton wants to trade him. I think he views Jaleel as a solid RB3. And I say that because, 1, he's Payton's guy. 2, he has proven consistency over 2 years. And 3, Audric Estime clearly seems to be the odd man out of all the running backs that we've listed on this show. And I take no pride in saying that because Estime is a Notre Dame Fighting Irish guy. He's my dude. And even I would say his odds of making the team are about 50-50 right now. So I look at Jaleel McLaughlin and I say, might be a fan favorite, might be RB3, but he has the most potential out of all the running backs to be traded before the start of the 2025 NFL season. So I'll throw it up to you. You can call me crazy in the comment section if you want. That's totally fine. But if you do think that I'm crazy, at least defend your answer in the comment section down below. Should Denver trade Jaleel McLaughlin? Yes or no? All right, that was the bad news. Usually I start with the good news. I'm usually an optimist. But today I decided to pivot a little bit. I do want to get into the good news, though, surrounding another Broncos offensive player, this time from ESPN. And I'm going to break down what they had to say about this one player. But before we do that, you have to start shopping with Fanatics, guys. I've been throwing this t-shirt at your face the entire week. But it's not just this t-shirt. If you use the link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video, you can start shopping a bevy of products with shirts and jerseys and hats and gloves. Anything that you need to gear up for the 2025 Broncos season, you can find with this link, like I said, that I put in the comments and description of today's video. It also helps out the channel. So if you want to support and look cool doing it, make sure, like you said, use that link, chatsports.com/BoNixT. So the good news, ESPN names Marvin Mims as the league's best gadget player. Now, you might think to yourself, what the hell's a gadget player? Well, I'll explain a little bit to you. It's a player that usually plays as a weapon on offense, primarily receiver, but also has the ability to do much more in the special teams game. And obviously, Marvin Mims has shown over the last couple of seasons that he is that one particular gadget player. Now, ESPN's Brian Barnwell, I believe, or Bill Barnwell, excuse me, that's his name, Bill Barnwell, had this to say about Marvin Mims. Thinking about the classic idea of the undersized gadget player, this used to be Tyreek Hill, believe it or not, before he became an unreal wide receiver. They kind of explain in this article that Marvin Mims has shown the ability to not only be an excellent special teams weapon, but has obviously progressed as a wide receiver. In fact, in 2024, not only was he an all-pro return man, but you saw the progression before your very eyes as a route runner. And that's the one area that I want to highlight because his stats don't pop out at you. These aren't eye-popping numbers that, whoa, jump off the page. But they're reliable. They're okay. They're getting better. That's the most important thing. He's a big play time wide receiver. And those are his receiving stats. If you take a look at his kick return stats, I combined the punt return and the kick return for you. So clearly they're trying to shy away from him as much on special teams and trying to develop him more as a wide receiver. And as I said before, his route running was so much better towards the end of last season. You clearly saw the ability to use your hands and understand spacing. It got better and better. From week 11 on, he was one of the best in the NFL. And you might be thinking, well, how could he be the best in the NFL if his numbers don't back it up? That's not what I'm talking about. I'll explain in a little bit. But Barnwell goes on to say this. Mims averaged just 0.8 yards per route, which is dog water bad. But then, when they moved him into the slot and understood where he could be better utilized in terms of his ability to make plays off the line of scrimmage, a whopping 5.5 yards per route run in the slot. So what does that tell you? He clearly wasn't doing it on the outside, but when they moved him inside, he found his niche. He found his comfort level. Now, his stride then went on to impress because beyond week 11, as I said before, 4.4 yards per route, which was the best in the NFL for anyone who ran more than 80 routes. So you can clearly see the progression in his route running capabilities, so much so that when they moved him inside, it was all over. He was cooking defenders left and right. And right now, I have Mims as wide receiver 2. And I know a lot of people have said, well, Devon Vele has a bigger potential to be wide receiver 2 based on his size and what he showed us also at the end of last season. But I'm not necessarily sure yet. I think Marvin Mims is a more talented player overall than Devon Vele. Granted, Vele might be a slightly better wide receiver. But if you mean to tell me that I could get an all-pro style of special teamer and someone that has been gaining traction as a wide receiver, I would take Marvin Mims as my wide receiver 2 all day and twice on Sunday. So this kind of leads me to my next question. All-purpose yards are kind of all of the yards included in everything. So do me a favor. Let me know if you think over or under 1,000 all-purpose yards for Marvin Mims in 2025. My answer, hell yes. It is going to happen for sure. But let me know what you think. All right, before I end today's video, remember, your homework today, I'm taking you back to school, is to subscribe to the channel. I want to see as many subscriptions as possible to this channel, and hopefully, by the time I get into the office on Monday, we are that much closer to 36,700 subscribers. Until next time, my name is Moose. Be cool.